Hello, and welcome to this Libra season overview. Libra season begins at the fall equinox at the end of September and runs through most of October. This is the beginning of the fall season. The fall equinox is the time of the year, just like the spring equinox, where we have even light during the day and during the night. Libra is this cardinal air sign, cardinal meaning it is kicking off, it is initiating something new, like a new energy. And this new energy into this air sign that starts this fall season, at least in the northern hemisphere, it could be the spring season in the southern hemisphere, kicks us into this energy where things are cooler, things are a little bit lighter, things feel like they might be even speeding up a little bit. There is a lot of this air element that Libra is embodies is a very airy, light, in the mind, intellectual, quick thinking, very social, kind of flighty kind of energy. So this is a time to allow yourself to be social, to work within groups, to work within your partnerships and collaborations and your relationships. And that is definitely one of the themes, one of the prominent themes for Libra season is this idea of finding balance and harmony and peace and beauty within our relationships with other people, with our coworkers, with our groups, with our intimate partners, and especially specifically with our deeper self, as we know that the relationship that we have with ourselves is always the number one priority as far as cultivating it with compassion, cultivating it with unconditional love. And from that, we're able to more easily offer up our hearts and offer up that same type of unconditional love and compassion to others. Meaning that our relationships with others is a direct reflection of our relationship with ourselves. And that is our inner self, our outer self, our deeper self, compared to our external self and with our ego self, our non-physical and our physical self. Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus corresponds to our fourth center. So it is fourth chakra themes and fourth chakra work that we initiate and that we focus on during this time. And fourth chakra is about issues of forgiveness, issues of unconditional love, issues of your connection with your heart. Cultivating these things, focusing on cultivating them within, and then seeing how it allows our partnerships and our other relationships, our external relationships, really flourish when we focus on healing and activating our own heart centers. As far as exercise and self-care for Libra season during this time, again, it's an emphasis on groups, on community, and on partnerships. So it might be a fun time to try a new exercise or maybe join in on something new for you with a group of people or with another partner or with a friend. But seeing and feeling that energy of doing things in collaboration and trying something new or doing something fun with somebody else. As far as specifically trying some kind of new workout or some new exercise class or going with somebody or inviting somebody to try to do something with you is would be a fun thing to kind of initiate during Libra season, especially if you don't normally do that, especially if you're more of like a solo workout person. Self-care would definitely look at not just loving yourself up because of this Venus Libra energy and fourth chakra energy, but really looking at in what way do you love yourself up? Because on the external, it can look like you really are when you give yourself, when you take yourself to massage appointments and you pamper yourself with mani-pedis and facials, etc. But that might not be the type of self-love that you really need to be doing, the type of self-care that you really need to be doing, versus maybe examining the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you really treat yourself internally, the way that you forgive yourself, how quickly you can forgive yourself, how the way that you treat yourself when you are disappointed, when things come up unexpectedly, right? Really looking at prioritizing your healing, prioritizing this self-compassion is such a huge piece. I think that there is a lot of people who mistake getting massages and taking vacations as self-care, where real true self-care requires practicing on a regular basis, being mindful of how you speak to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you heal yourself, and making sure that all of that is a priority, understanding how deeply important that is, not just for you, but for your relationships. As far as yoga, the type of yoga to practice, because Libra is an air sign that corresponds to Venus, that corresponds to our fourth center, it's balancing and it's backbending. So whatever kind of balancing backbends you want to practice, as well as whatever kind of balancing backbend flows or sequences that you want to practice, those would be the emphasis. And the emphasis as far as the energy of air is to really try to feel light and free, embody that feeling of lightness and freedom when you balance, when you're doing your arm balance or doing your headstand or doing or practicing. And of course, all of those are, for a lot of people, balancing postures are the most difficult. So making sure you practice that piece of self-compassion when you practice things that feel challenging, right? Of course, the intention is to feel light and free. However, light and free within your balancing posture. However, give yourself a lot of compassion and a lot of room for positive self-talk and encouragement as you work towards that feeling, that sensibility. The types of food and diet that you might want to experience or eat or explore are, of course, like foods that are definitely local and seasonal within your area. But since we're shifting into the fall season, of course, eating the harvest fall foods would be really in alignment and really nourishing. Warmer soups, heavier meals, longer meals. We're kind of starting this beginning process of moving into the last quarter of the year and moving into the winter solstice. And so think about kind of, at least for the northern hemisphere, but think about this idea of kind of preparing our bodies and preparing ourselves for hibernation or for staying in, for moving a little bit slowly and more slow, and feeling very like nourished and nurtured and comforted with our foods. For the new moon and the full moon during Libra season, we know the new moon is when the moon is in the same sign as the sun. So for the new moon in Libra, it is, as all new moons are, it is a beginning of something new, a stepping into a new phase as far as initiating a new habit or routine, or beginning a new project. This is during that new moon in Libra. It's something that we really want to think about. If you want to get into a specific Libra theme as far as beginning something new, as far as maybe bringing in something new into your partnership or beginning a new project in collaboration with somebody, it's a great time to kind of focus in on what that might look like and how that might work, collaborating and working closely with somebody, whether it's like a platonic business relationship or whether it's actually working on yourself within the framework of an intimate relationship. For the full moon in Libra, the moon would be in Aries, and it would be the opposite sign of Libra. And Aries is very fiery, Aries is very warrior-like, and Aries can be sometimes very overbearing and too fast and too direct. So one of the things, during a full moon, we're trying to release something or set the intention of letting something go, and just maybe we can be reflective on whether or not we are forcing a relationship, or really trying to control a relationship, or just kind of looking at our partnerships and our relationships and the energy that we bring into it, and making sure that we're not trying to be too controlling, too forceful, as well as doing anything that might possibly be pushing people away versus drawing people in. Anything that might be creating more disconnection than connection, right? So if there's any of that during the full moon in Aries during Libra season, would be the time to let that go. So happy Libra season. We have a couple of fun Libra challenges for you guys up on the site. We also have the winter grocery list linked on these overviews, and enjoy Libra season, and I'll see you for Scorpio season.